Welcome to another live. I am Keith. It is Christmas in the studio. The holidays, I have snow on the corner shelf. I have my little stars in the sky. I've got my icicles hanging inside my studio. I got the fire going on the TV. I've got 26 days until Christmas back there on that display. I got Batman and Robin on the turntable back there. You guys would have seen it a little bit earlier, but I had a little bit of technical difficulty with the Skycam. I'll pop it on the air right now and see if I can't get over there to Batman and Robin. There we go. It's on my head. I'll get that off of my head here real quick. That's just where Skycam is positioned. So we will get that off of my head right there and bring it right down here. Let's bring it right here. That is picture in picture. And you got Batman and Robin on the turntable. They're getting ready for the holidays as well. I'm Keith. Welcome to the live stream. It's good to see many of you here in the chat. Let's turn Skycam back off. What is going on here? Skycam off. And let's switch over here to chat. And we'll get that on the full screen. We're going to say hi to some folks here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Freddie was in here early. So welcome, Freddie. It's good to have you here with me live. Hank is in the house. DJ Ware, I missed that DJ Ware. Sorry, you snuck in earlier. I'm just now seeing that. David, it's good to have you in the house. These are all great people here joining me for the live tonight, and that's always amazing. We'll talk about some changes I made in the studio here in just a minute. Yeah, it's almost 4 o'clock. Yeah, in some places it is still Tuesday. In other places that people pop on, it is already Wednesday. But on my calendar, right there above your chat, that little display right there is the days till Christmas here in my studio, and I'm changing it every day. I love the holiday. I don't like it to be over, so I enjoy every moment. That's why we're all set up in here. It's good to have you, Doug, here on the channel. As well on the live stream. It's always great to have you. And then Tony's here live as well. That is amazing to have you guys with me. Let me just get, we'll stop Batman from going around here. I'm going to close that for a minute. I'm going to get back here in the chat. Let's see. There we go. David says, intro music never gets old. I love how it's upbeat, but also chill with the background vocals. Thank you. I'm glad you like the background music. That's pretty cool. It could be irritating. I had to turn it down tonight. I had a little bit hot. Love the holiday set. Thank you, Tony. Made a few changes. So have snow on most all the shelves. And then I've got the TV turned to fireplace. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess stars in the sky. And then let's see, what else do we have here? Got the fire going, have the icicles. They used to hang up here. You could barely see them. I decided to move them above the TV. So, and there's actually one right there next to the snowman. And they're plugged in right there on the wall. So it's great to be here tonight. I do have a really, what I think, thank you. I will do that. DJ Ware, I hit record. We are now recording ISO tracks. Thank you so much. It just goes to show you, it takes a small army to live stream. So thank you for that catch, DJ. I appreciate it. David, it's great always to have you. Here from Australia. I'm guessing that it is Wednesday there. I think so. So let me know. It's Tuesday here for my live stream, but I think in Australia where David is from, it is already Wednesday. So let me know if that is true and what time it is there, David, that you're tuning in to my live stream. I'm always amazed at some of the people that join me and how late it is or early it is where they're at. Okay, so let me, thanks, David. Appreciate the compliment on the set. Did spend some time. The house is decorated next week for my live stream. I'm going to give you a little tour of the decorations here in the house. I love the ambiance of our home and just how my wife gets that part of the house ready to go. I help with putting the tree up. She decorated it last night. We've had the decorations up since, let's see, today is Tuesday. I think we got the decorations up mostly on Saturday. I didn't get the tree up until Monday. Our schedule has been very, very crazy. Yeah, 11 a.m. in Australia. Well, happy Wednesday to you down under, David. And thank you as well, DJ Ware, for that compliment. Most of these people on with me tonight, I think with the exception of Hank and Freddie, have live stream channels. So if you haven't already subscribed, let's support each other here in the YouTube algorithm. And with that said, every like matters. So if it's afternoon, like David's greeting earlier, or if it's 11 a.m. the next day, like our other David's greeting right here, then it's just good to be together, and your likes do really help the algorithm, and I appreciate it. Let's see. Good to have you here, Joe, as usual. It's great to have you with me live. What we're going to do tonight, and I know it's unusual for me, but I have one main goal tonight, and that is to talk about, let's see, let's do this. No, let's go like this. Where are you? You are channel 3. We're going to talk about this device right here and what I can use it for. So we're going to really break this down. It's all hooked up right now. I'm perfectly comfortable with unhooking it. But we'll talk about how we're going to use this tonight and how you can embed audio into HDMI or SDI and then bring that into your live stream. So let's talk about the audio right now. And I'll continue to say hi as other people pop in the chat. Let's see here. David says he's in the future. Yeah. So I guess I'm time traveling into Wednesday at 11:10 right now, 11:10 a.m. Thank you for that, Tony. Yeah, if you like the holiday set, give me a like for that. I wish you could give me more likes, but that's all you can. And thank you, Tony. So we're going to have one main goal tonight. And so because it's the holidays, this is my plan. I plan on being live. Let's look at the calendar right now. So we are not quite into December. It looks to me like it's going to happen in 3 days. And the Christmas holiday is in 26 days from tonight. That's 25 days for some of you. But as we look at November, we will be live on the 5th, live on the 12th, live on the 19th, and believe it or not, I plan on doing a day after Christmas live show. It may be at a different time, we'll see. But so we have 1, 2, 3 shows before the bell rings for the Christmas holiday, if that's a holiday you celebrate. Some people are celebrating other days, and we appreciate that and understand that, and that's cool. Obviously, we are going to celebrate Christmas here at the Bennett house, and I have friends that celebrate other holidays, which is totally cool with me, but we are going to have the family here mostly on Christmas Day, and we don't really have a big Christmas Eve tradition other than some of my extended family will always come on Christmas Eve. So we exchange gifts because they're going to be with their family. And the story is, I believe we're having Christmas for the very first time away from home. And that's going to be at my daughter and son-in-law's house right here in the same area. They live in a different city, but we're literally 10 minutes from each other. And that's my son-in-law, Joel, and my daughter, Nicole, and their last name is Van Corback. And they are going to host Christmas on Christmas morning for us. So I'm excited about that. I guess that's one of the things you graduate to when you're 62. So again, awesome to have you guys with me. I'm glad you're enjoying the set. It's good to have you here, Tim, from Melbourne, Australia. So happy Wednesday to you. I think that's probably the same time there as it is for David, who says it's 11:13 in Australia, where he is from. So you guys are obviously with me now together, and we are going to get some stuff accomplished here tonight. Freddie popped back in, so it's good to have you, Freddie. And you can all say hi back to Freddie. That's great. So what I want to talk about tonight is how I have my audio routed. And so I'm going to close YouTube and everything here that's not necessary. We are going to fire up my iPhone to be our mobile cam. I do have a lapel mic on, so I don't have to be tethered to this if I don't want to. But let me give myself some room and not knock my coffee. I do have my coffee with me tonight, and I do have my Christmas drink, and it's basically a diet, I think it's like a raspberry, and I got the red lid and the green cup and celebrating the holidays. I know it's still November, but I'm freshly into the holidays. And obviously Thanksgiving is a holiday here in the United States, and the sales started before Thanksgiving. We've had the Black Friday sale. We had the Cyber Monday sale yesterday. And we're going to talk a little bit about a couple good deals at Blackmagic Design. So even though I said one main thing tonight, we will touch base on a Blackmagic Design converter. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you need to know about Blackmagic Design as the holidays progress. But again, got my cool drink and got my hot drink. So hopefully you have something warm or cool to drink while we get going today. So now I can change to my super source layout here. Should be in here somewhere. 3 box, there we go. So there's my drink. It's a close-up. But this is the device that we are talking about tonight. So the way I do audio is I have obviously this microphone. Here is a close-up of this microphone. And you can see right there, it's upside down, but that's a Shure SM7B there. Let's see if I can get this to focus. And that is on my Rode version 1 boom stand. And that goes into channel 1 right here on my RodeCaster Pro. And because I want to power those monitors, and I also want to power that ATEM in channel 1. So channel 1 is hot right now. That's where this goes to. But before it goes to my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, it goes from this RodeCaster 2, and I have version 1 in a bag for mobile podcasting. I have another RodeCaster Pro 2 that's going to go into Studio B if I ever get started building it. And then I have a third input that can go to my Extreme ISO number 2. And you can see I have 1, 2, and 2 is used for extra switching, and it comes into channel. So I have 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 bring in the outputs for this Extreme. So I can use all of those channels right here. I can bring 2 in a time right here as a big matrix switcher. And then I could also bring super source in here as well if I want to set it up and bring it in. All I have to do is switch to program. So if I switch to program here right now, you're going to see super source coming in from my other device. And so back to input 2 right here. So it goes from my RodeCaster Pro version 2, from the 1/4-inch outs into this, let's move my ice drink here, into this HOSA switch. And from the HOSA switch, it goes to my subwoofer, and my subwoofer is right here. So it goes behind the desk to my subwoofer, and then out of that right and left output of my subwoofer, it goes to, one of the outputs goes to that speaker right and left. And so that gives me bass, and it gives me right and left stereo audio. And so you can see right now it's switched to channel 3, because channel 3 goes from 2 1/4-inch outs right and left, adapted down to a 3.5 jack, and that 3.5 jack goes into channel 1 right back there, and next to that is my receiver for my DJI mic, which is right here underneath my shirt, and that's the magnet that holds it there. And so that channel is on, and then if I switch to channel 2, it's still RodeCaster audio in channel 1, but this is DJI mic audio. So if I turn this off and that on, now you're listening to DJI mic, lapel mic audio, and we'll switch that back. So now channel 1 is live and channel 2 is not live. So now if I was to switch to channel 1 right there, that would turn these speakers on. You can see they're on, but there's no signal. This meter would go across if they were live, but right now they're muted because I am only sending audio from the RodeCaster Pro to channel 3, and that goes to my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. Now if I switch to channel 2, you can see there is no audio coming in because I am feeding channel 2, and now I'm talking to you from my lapel mic. So I'm bypassing my RodeCaster Pro, even though you can see an audio signal coming to this mic. It's not playing to anything right now because I have the HOSA switched over to channel 2. Now channel 2 is coming out of the HOSA from channel 1 microphone. That's the only microphone that's alive. And that's sending audio to the HOSA. And then I'm coming out channel 2, and that is feeding these 2 inputs on this HDMI to 6G converter. So there you go. I will give you a better angle look at that. So that is the HDMI to SD converter. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting the signal from my main camera. One of them goes into channel 2 on my Extreme ISO, and the other one is feeding this HDMI input right here. Then this comes out SDI, and it goes into my HyperDeck. Now, I'm going to stop there for just a minute. We will set this down for just a second. It's going to go black, and let me switch back to me and a logo. So in my diagram, and let's just put that up right now, you can see that I'm saying that you should use HDMI input to the converter from your main camera, and then it comes out SDI 6G, which means that I could be sending a 4K signal into the HyperDeck if I wanted to, which I am. And then if you want to go directly to a HDMI input with audio on your board into your ATEM, you would then use that SDI BiDirectional HDMI converter. So just to review real quickly, the converter, all it does is convert HDMI to SDI 6G, which is 4K. So you can buy one that converts HDMI to SDI 3G, but this particular converter that I'm talking about tonight, and they have two, they have a SDI to HDMI with audio embedding, and they have HDMI, which I have here, to 6G SDI with audio embedding. And so again, that is this switch right here on my desk. Let me find my 3-box layout here again. So this device is perfect for what we're talking about. So let's unplug it real quickly. So I'm gonna switch back to my main microphone, which is this one right here. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna unplug this. So you have SDI coming out right here. So we're gonna unplug that. This goes to my HyperDeck. And just so you guys can see that, right now my HyperDeck is showing you that it was playing my intro video. So we're gonna bring that disc out because I don't wanna accidentally record on it. And now my monitor up there goes dead. And if I plug this back in, after it goes green, the signal comes back up there. But right now I want to kill that card. I'm going to put my backup card right here in. So now it's gone green. And then I'm going to hit the record button. And now as I hit the record button, you can see that now it has a little picture of me. So this same camera is coming into my HyperDeck, and I can show you that now. I'm going to switch to my HyperDeck input, and there I am. So you still have audio because I'm feeding it into the ATEM, but my lips may not be synced up. I don't know yet. So we're going to switch that back so you can see my little picture there. Sorry, this is the power cable, and I guess I could have found a better place for that tonight. So what you can do is you can switch between record mode by hitting the record button. And now it shows you what you're feeding the HyperDeck from and the record inputs in the back. So you could come, this is the HyperDeck Studio HD Plus, and it actually has an HDMI input. So I can come right out of my camera if I wanted to. So my EOS R right there, that will send out 4K. I could come right out of that HDMI right into the back of my HyperDeck Shuttle HD Plus because it has an HDMI in. But the old HyperDeck Mini, which is playing my video of Dominic and I right now, it does not have an HDMI in. So the reason that I bought this converter was so I could come out of my EOS R HDMI out 4K. I could come into the converter from it, 4K. This would convert it from HDMI to SDI 6G, so I'd continue having my 4K signal. This would come out and then go into my old HyperDeck, and I can feed it in there right now if I wanted to, because there's the SDI cable, and you can see right now I have two SDI outs. Get that to focus. So it's normally hooked up like that, but I pulled it out to the desk, but I wanted to show you this cable. This one goes to this HyperDeck, the old one, and that's the only way to get video into it is via SDI. But the new HyperDeck, I can go in SDI or I could go in HDMI. So I don't even need this converter to use this new HyperDeck, which is one of the big bonuses. So I don't spend a lot of time in my lives talking about the HyperDeck anymore because a lot of people don't have a HyperDeck and they definitely don't want to spend the whole night talking about a HyperDeck on my live streams. But the big difference between the old Mini and the new HyperDeck Shuttle, the HyperDeck Mini HD Plus, is that this will still do a key fill channel for flying motion graphics. You can key out the background, the same thing you do when you're doing a green screen. You key out the green and you replace it with some photograph. This will actually do keyed graphics. So when you do full motion graphics, you can do that with this one, and you can do it with the old HyperDeck Studio Mini. But the new HyperDeck Studio HD It does not have that. They added time code in and out, but they used that space to make it the same size, and they did away with key and fill. So do not buy the new version of this if you want to do motion graphics with key and fill, but you would want to buy this version, and we'll talk a little bit about how much those cost tonight, and you can pick those up. And I think I put a link in the description tonight for those. Okay, so this device can embed audio right and left, and then I found that it's got all these directions on the back. So here's the different switch locations, because it's not going to do that for me. Let me turn it this way. So it tells you about the switch locations and the dip switches, and there's dip switches right here on the side. And I have it set right now, I think you can see this, that I have 7 down and all the other ones up, because that's what I've discovered will let me embed audio. And so the audio comes in from my RodeCaster Pro once I turn it to channel 2, and right now I have it on channel 3. It joins together with the HDMI, so now I have HDMI signal coming in. I'm adding audio to it, and because I have that dip switch to number 7, that then comes out my audio and my video into my HyperDeck. And then once I switch the audio back over, I want you to watch. See, there's no audio right now coming into the HyperDeck because I'm not feeding any audio to the converter, but watch this. I switched it over, and you're listening to DJI Lab mic right now. And now as I talk, you can see that I have audio meters. So again, right and left audio in from my RodeCaster Pro, and you can come directly out of your RodeCaster Pro straight into a converter like this, but I want to be able to go to other places in the studio, so I have the HOSA switch, and there's the model number. I think they have a new version of this, but there's the model number right there. I think you guys can see that, SW333. And so, and then you have a power supply, and I'll give you guys a tour around this here in just a second. So, back to channel 3. Back to this microphone. And so what I want to do now is I'm going to show you my desktop here real quick, and I'll explain to you why. So me and my laptop, and you can see right now I have mic 1 audio coming in. That's coming from my RodeCaster Pro to my HOSA switch. From my HOSA switch, it's coming into mic input number 1 on the back of my ATEM Extreme ISO. And then over here, you have where the SDI is coming in my HyperDeck. So we're going to crank this audio back up. And I'm going to show you that these EQs, this EQ right here, open that up. What happened? Try this again. What is going on? Why are they not opening? Maybe I can't open them when I'm live. I've never seen that before. So let me move it back over here. See if I can diagnose what's going on here. Because the next step is to make sure the EQ on my HyperDeck input, HDMI input, number 7 on my ATEM Extreme ISO, the EQ is set at the same place that my input mic 1 on my ATEM is set. So let me see if I can diagnose why I can't open this up. It is so weird. I can't close down because I'm live streaming. Let me see if it's opening someplace else. I don't see it opening anyplace else. That is so weird. Why can't I get it to open up? Effects won't open up. Okay. Well, we'll just have to, you'll have to take my word for it. Let's do me and my laptop again here. So weird, because normally, like even the macros, I can open and close the macros just by closing it, going up to macros, hitting macros again. Usually when you click on this, it opens up those little windows, but it's not right now. I can click on the delay, and this is a frame delay to make sure that my lips are syncing with the RodeCaster Pro going in just separately into my ATEM. But if I embed into a channel, I shouldn't have a problem. So this is the channel, so I'm going to turn it on. So now my HyperDeck is on. I'm going to go ahead and switch to channel 2. Check, check, check. And you have audio from my HyperDeck. So this is embedded audio you're listening to now. It looks a little hot. So check, check, check. Let's go down a little bit more. Check, check, check. So this is audio from the embedded audio. So I'm coming from the ATEM Mini into the HDMI to 6G SDI converter. From the converter SDI into my HyperDeck. I set it to record. So when you push the button to record the first time, it switches to video input. And then if you push it a second time, it'll actually record what I'm showing you. And then if you enable the audio in that channel right here, you guys are hearing this audio. So let me know if my lips are in sync. So let's change. All that time I'm talking and you guys have no audio. I am so sorry. I should be watching the chat, shouldn't I? So, okay, so I forgot to enable this, or at some point I turned off this audio on my HyperDeck, and now you can see it's coming through the main. And if I was to turn that HyperDeck off right now, audio back on. So this audio is embedded audio. The EQ and all the effects are set exactly the same. I did that today. So channel 1 is identical to channel 8. These are the mic inputs. I am now only using the HyperDeck input, so I have embedded audio in there. Now, just to make this a little bit easier maybe to understand is the audio is going off every time I switch. I apologize, and that should not be happening. So interesting. I keep looking down. I got no audio. So again, I apologize. Point number 1, embedding audio in a camera is something we do all the time. If you're on set and you have a microphone on your camera and you're feeding the camera preamps, converters in the camera, then you are embedding audio. Then that HDMI coming out, or if it's a SDI output camera, that SDI is carrying the audio. And that means that the lips are going to be in sync because the video and the audio are starting at the camera. But when you get in a recording studio like this, or a production studio, or a live studio, or a podcast studio, or a live event, and they are going to send you the sound audio from the venue, like in a Studio Live or whatever, Allen and Heath, whatever you have, now you have to worry about getting that audio synced with the lips. And hopefully my lips and the audio is synced. So this is all audio coming from my RodeCaster Pro directly in to the converter. I'm embedding that audio and it's coming in as an HDMI audio input. And I'm not using the preamps or the converters in mic input 1 or mic input 2 on my ATEM Mini Extreme. So this audio should sound better because it is coming directly from the RodeCaster Pro and it's not having to come into mic input number 1 because those converters are not that great. Those preamps are not that great. And remember, mic 1 and mic 2 are either line input or mic input. So you can plug a mic right into it and change it to line. And again, that is done right here. So if you go right up to the system settings and you go up here to audio, general settings, you have line levels right here or mic levels. So channel 2, I always have set for mic so I can plug my DJI mic kit into it. And channel 1, I always have at line level because when you come directly out of the back of a soundboard, it's line level. Same thing that you'd be sending if you plugged in a guitar directly into the back of it. That's line level. But if you're plugging a microphone in and if you need to add phantom power, then that's going to be mic level, and the ATEMs do not have phantom power available to them. So if you're going to use a condenser microphone, like this is a dynamic microphone, it doesn't need phantom power. But if you're going to use a condenser microphone, you'd have to go through some device because you can't get phantom power by plugging any microphone in the back of your ATEM Mini Pro, Mini Pro ISO, Mini Pro, just Mini Pro, Extreme or Extreme ISO, or even the web presenter. You'd have to find a way to add phantom power. I believe the web presenter doesn't have it. There's also this microphone plus plug-in power, and that's just a different powered like lav microphone that needs just a little bit of power. but mostly you're doing line or microphone. So I don't know why every time I cut away from that, it's turning off channel 8 audio. I've never seen that before, but I'm having glitches tonight. So you are hearing embedded audio. This should be a tiny bit better than the audio I normally use, and we're going to switch back to that now so that you can hear what that sounds like. So I still have channel mic input number 1 on. All I need to do is switch over to channel 3, and now you can see the audio is coming through the mic input, not input HyperDeck. So that's how that device works. It embeds audio, and obviously the easiest way to do it would be to take the converter, take this converter, come out of the back of it, convert it from SDI back to HDMI, and then go directly into your ATEM and not even be inside a HyperDeck. And you can see that I am in that HyperDeck right now, and that's where I get the audio. And if I switched over to channel 2 on my HOSA switch, that audio would pop back in, and then it would come in on channel 8 on my ATEM instead of mic input number 1 on my ATEM. So this device simply has HDMI in, it converts it to 6G SDI. You have 2 outputs, so you can go to a monitor and to a converter, or you could go to a HyperDeck, either way, or you could go to 2 HyperDecks, so you'd have a redundant recording. So I could be recording on the HyperDeck 1, I could have a redundant recording on number 2. This could go to a stage monitor or something, a TV, so everybody could see the video playing. You could use a converter like this to go to your HyperDeck, your ATEM to do a live stream, and then the second SDI output could go to like monitors in the house or up on the stage or whatever. So it's nice to have 2 SDI outs, and you have 1 HDMI in, and then you have right and left audio. So I'll just pull these out. So there you go. Here's the jack. And you have 2 different ways you can look at it from my iPhone. And let's get this back in the shot here. So that's right. This is left. So the audio right now is disconnected. So I can plug those back in. And then if I was to unplug them from my HOSA, we could plug them in to this little cat right here, and I could show you the Beta 58 sound coming from the board embedded into the same device, and you guys can let me know if that's something you want me to do. So let's go back to me and a logo. I'm going to unhook this thing here in a minute, but if you want to hear the Studio Live 32 console, now's the time to let me know, but I want to get chat going back here on the air. Okay, so let's take that down. And sorry about the times there was no audio. I don't know what was going on. Every time I was switching audio, I was losing my HyperDeck audio coming into my ATEM. So even though I had it turned on, it was turning off on its own. I've never seen that ever. But again, I'm live, so of course it's doing that. So let me go down here and catch up. Freddie said hi. David said hi back to Freddie. It's only it's only November for 2 more days. After this, all good. That's correct. Is there an option to delay the audio like in the ATEM? No. So Joe, that's the downside of embedding audio. And here's the thing about embedding audio. Normally, you don't have to worry about lip sync delay, but Roland makes a device that's a lot more expensive. You can buy this device that I have on the desk. You can buy this device for $155, I think, right now from Blackmagic Design. You can embed audio. You can convert 4K HDMI in 30 frames per second to 6G SDI 30 frames per second. So that's as high as you're going to go, 4K 30 frames per second. And there is no way in here to delay it. So that's the downside of this converter. So keep that in mind. Now, Roland does make a converter that does do that. I think it's like $495, and it can do, I think, up to 8 frames of delay. And that's what I recommend to venues who want to be able to embed audio from their soundboard, because it does have frame delay. It's kind of janky in that it has the dip switches and really archaic computer software, but I have a venue up in Spokane Valley in Washington that uses that device. I had to study it to help them figure out how to use it because they lost staff, and I had to go up there and train them and hook up a HyperDeck, hook up a web presenter, and help them stream better and record better. And then we had to figure out the audio issue. And so it is a converter as well, and has more options in converting. But again, that's a Roland device. I will see if I can find it here in a minute. Yeah, there was double earlier. I apologize, David. You are correct. And the never mind was because I caught it. I had my lav mic on and my Rode mic. It sounds like this when I have them both on. Testing 1, 2, 3. And it sounds like this when I only have one of them on. So thank you for letting me know. I'll blame my AirPods. No, it was me. About 5 frames off. Okay, so that's the downside. Now, part of that is probably the length of the audio cables I have. So the ideal scenario would be a very short HDMI cable and a very short right and left cable, or you would buy the roll-in device. But tonight, the main test was, does embedded audio sound better than the audio coming from the preamps and the converters inside an ATEM? Because in reality, they have a lot of noise and there's issues with them. I have to do some work in my studio to get it sounding right. And I am planning on turning everything into embedded audio very, very soon. Lip sync is off. Yeah, I saw that no sound earlier. I apologize for not catching it right away. Let me just get through these real quick. The audio bit bucket is working. I'm not sure what that meant, DJ Ware. So we'll do a lip sync test right now just because let's solve this. So let me turn on my HyperDeck. So this is my lips using the regular 4 frames of delay. Let's see if that's what I have set. I have 4 frames of delay set on mic input number 1. So I'm coming from my RodeCaster Pro version 2 into the back of my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO mic channel 1. And that's what you're hearing right now. So let me know if the lips are on. And I'm going to wait for a minute for you guys to let me know if they're on. And then we're going to switch. So let me know if they're on in the chat real quick. And I'm going to wait for your response. It's good to have you here tonight, Akil. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody else that's popped in. I apologize if you did. But let me know if my lips are on now using my regular sound layout. Testing 1, 2, lip sync test. And I'm just waiting for the chat to populate. Yeah, thank you. 2,040 some, I think 43 subscribers. My channel has been growing pretty quickly, about twice as fast since about 2 weeks ago, so that's great. So this is, okay, so I'm just going to do it. This is lip sync with regular audio. Okay, so there it is. Lips are on. Lips are on. I just got those. I apologize. It's just a delay, 6-7 seconds worth of delay. So we're going to switch over now. My HyperDeck audio is on, so here we go. So this is audio from the HyperDeck going into channel 8. So I think you guys are saying that the lip sync is off. So we'll just go ahead and test this for a minute and let me know if my lips are on now. This is earlier from Joe. So what about now that we are on? And let me go ahead. Are you using normal or low latency mode in YouTube? Normal latency. Apologize for that, but I've had issues with buffering when I go to the other latency settings, so I'm not using them. Okay, so sounds like I'm 4 or 5 seconds delay off. So I would have to play with this to get lips in line. So, but this is what the audio sounds like without using the ATEM mic inputs. So let me know if it sounds better using the converter, even though my lips are off 4 or 5 frames. Let me know if that sounds better than this audio right here, which is the normal audio coming through the mic inputs. So if this sounds better, or if you can't hear any difference, I would love to let me know. So we'll use H for the HyperDeck, and we'll use M for the mic input. So if M sounds the same as H, say the same. If H sounds better than M, which is the mic input, then say H equals better. And if you think the mic input sounds better, not the lip sync, but the mic input on the mic input, then say M equals better. So M equals better if you like the regular setup like I'm using right now. H input, which I'm using right now, if that sounds better, say H sounds better. And I guarantee you that both of those probably sound better than this audio, because this is the DJI input into mic input number 2. So DJI mic input number 2. This is the regular mic input coming from my RodeCaster Pro. And this audio right here is coming from my HyperDeck. From my HyperDeck. And I'm embedding the audio, and my lips are probably off on the DJI mic as well as this embedded. So that's the audio test from both of those devices. Let me know after you give me your judgment on if H sounds the best, if M sounded the best, or neither. Let me know in the chat. That would be amazing. And then we're going to move on. So yeah, a bit better. 4 frames off. Sync is good in Germany too. Okay. You guys have 30 seconds before you see my reaction to the chats. Okay. Joe is saying the audio link to the cable doesn't matter. Yeah, I didn't think that would matter. It would be coming out of the converter, but the audio and the converter and the video are combined at that point. So it has to happen. The sync has to be off when the audio and the video hit the converter. And that's why the roll-in has delay built in, but it's almost 3 times, well, 2.5 times the price. Sound is the same, no difference. Sounds the same, except for H is hotter. Yes, I saw that. H is better, Freddie says. Joe's making some geometry, math, algebra, chemical combination of atoms math. Keel says H sounds better. Tony says, fun, ha, ha, ha. Tim says H is better. So here's the deal. I have not recorded A and B, but I will listen back tonight with my headphones because tonight's recording has that audio on it, and I'll be able to look at the WAV version because I'm ISO recording right now. So that's going to be a cool test for me. Okay, so let me know if you would like to hear the audio coming from the Studio Live console. So if you'd like to have me unplug these cables and plug that side into the Studio Live 32SC and then talk in the other microphone, if you'd like to compare that audio, let me know. If that's not important to you, then we will just bypass that demo and move on. So I will wait for some votes. Yeah, the delay could be in the RodeCaster Pro version 2. I can actually add delay in the RodeCaster Pro. So that is correct. I just have never done it, but maybe I can try that for next week and have that set up for you guys if you would like me to do that. Okay, back to me and a logo, and sure, Tony says that's one vote. Joe would like to see me add delay in the RodeCaster Pro version 2. Okay. Not sure how that's going to help because it's still, I guess it would. So let's go back to this 3 box. Let's go into channel 1. I've never added delay before, so I'm not even sure I can. I have reverb delay. Let's get out of this. Let's go over to outputs. Let's see, routing maybe. No. Processing maybe. Attack, release. Output delay. What are you thinking? Let's try 600. $600. Testing 1, 2, 3. And this is back to my regular microphone. I think I'm just going to stay here, Joe, because that was 600. That's what I set when I had some lip sync issues in OBS. So I've never used this feature before. And I'm pretty sure I had it on. Yeah, it's off, on again. So let me know if that was completely off. Test, test. No audio. Looked pretty good before, actually. Way too much, Brian says. No sync, no interest. Okay. So I will play with that and see if I can do that. The only way to do that is do a sound test, record it, and then play it back and see if my hands come together with the sound. And that's just something I'll have to do off the air. But there you go, Joe. I gave it an attempt. So now let's go back to 3-box. I'm going to unplug the other side of these cables right now. You guys should still have audio. I'm going to switch over to my DJ mic. You should have one layer of audio. Let's grab these cables. Going to go into monitor inputs out, right, and left. I'm going to unmute channel 1. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Okay, and you're about to get, let's see. Testing 1, 2. Wow, that's hot. Testing 1, 2. Check, test. This is the Beta 58 coming from the Studio Live console with no effects on, no EQ. Well, there's a little EQ I'll show you guys. I have a little roll off, low pass, a high pass filter going right there, and that's that first pink dot there. So there I am going through channel 1, and you can see my audio levels coming from the main out my monitor output, and that's what you guys are hearing right now live. So this is audio coming from the Studio Live 32SC. I was all set up, ready to show you that. I hope you guys enjoyed that demo. I'm going to mute the mic and set it down. Should be back with audio from my regular setup. So if you like that demo tonight, let me know. Again, I wanted to do a video tonight about embedding audio because I've had some people ask me about it in the chat, in comments on some of my videos. I wanted to break down this device and sorry, my video went dead for a second because I unplugged this, but I wanted to break down this device live and show it to you. And again, this would be just one way to embed audio. And then if we go to Blackmagic Design site here real quick, here you have, they have a 30% off sale right now going on the HD8 and the HD8 ISO. So you can see that it's normally $29.95 for the ATEM Television Studio HD8, and that just records, can record to an M2 drive. It can record to an SD card. It's got more outputs than a regular ATEM Extreme or Extreme ISO. So it's also got MADI inputs as well as audio XLR inputs on the back, and you can buy that now for $19.95. That's a great buy. And then the ISO recording HD8. Remember, these are just high def, just like an ATEM. This is not the 4K console, but it will do ISO tracks. You can also do, they have individual streaming bridges built into every single input. So that means you could stream through a Ethernet cable from a newer Blackmagic Design camera that has that built into it directly through an Ethernet cable from into the board, which is pretty cool. Or maybe even from another venue if you can open up the firewall and let it through. So you can do an ISO version for $31.95, and you can do a non-ISO version for $19.95. And then the other sale is you can get a free EV included with this Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. So there you go. Those are two sales going on right now. And then if we pop over here, here's the converters. So how do you find the converters on Blackmagic's site? You go into the support page right here, or product page. Support will give you all the data information. I'm in the product page right now. Then I click on this box right here. Anytime you click on these boxes, it just changes below it. It doesn't go to another page. So make sure you're scrolling down, but this is where the converters are. And as you come down here, you can see here's the BiDirectional that I'm recommending if you wanted to do this type of conversion, going from this HDMI to 6G SDI converter. Then you come out of the SDI out of this, convert it with one of these bidirectional converters right here. This is where you get it. There's links in the description below. And then this is the big converters right here. So you have a HDMI to SDI 6G. This is the one that I have with two SDIs out. And then you have this one right here. And the reason it has three SDI inputs is one is your input because this is SDI to HDMI converting. So you're coming in one SDI, you still have two loops out, and then you also have audio embedding, and I'll increase the size of these, and you can go into details and see all the different devices that they have. So they have larger pictures in here of each one of these, how the switches work. And again, this is the converter that I have right here, but down here is the SDI to HDMI converter. So this is what it looks like on the side of the HDMI to SDI, and this is what it looks like on the side of the HDMI or the SDI to HDMI converter. And then here's the dip switches. And both of these do audio embedding, and they also do AES embedding. So if you have an AES console, it only takes one cable, or you have to have two cables, audio right and left, if you have a traditional board like I use tonight. And so there you can see the difference. 4 times the size for HD to 4K. And so that's why you have to have a 6G converter if you want to go larger files like a 4K file. So again, there you go. So SDI in, you convert it, and then you have SDI in, SDI out, and that is one of the converters for cable. And this tells you all about their cables, how the dip switches work. And looking on the back of this, there is nothing that says there's audio delay available in the dip switches. Or if you go to the roll-in converter, there is audio delay available for you. So that's on the roll-in device. And I'll see if I can find that roll-in device here real quick. And this is the roll-in embedder. So it's quite complicated. I think this is the right one, but it's one of these converters, and it has lots of options. You can see the dip switches. You can update it with the USB cable. You can do the same thing on the converters from Blackmagic Design, and they have a software you can download for free that helps you update your converters, and that's true with all of them. The newer converters have USB-C inputs. The older converters have the old style USB-C input. And I don't have a cable here on my desk to demo that, but this is quite a bit more money. So it's one of these. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I will put this link in the description right now so that you guys can have it tonight in the show notes. So let me go do that right now. So on the very bottom of tonight's comments in the description is that link to Roland's site. I also put some links in there, Amazon associate links. And again, if you use those, thank you so much. We do get money back from Amazon, but you pay the same, and there's some really good deals there. So I put a HyperDeck HD Studio HD Plus in there. I also put the converter BiDirectional 3G SDI to HDMI, and it goes both ways. So you can go HDMI to SDI or go the other way, SDI to HDMI, all in one converter. And you can buy those with or without the power supply. So if you want a power supply, make sure you check the link that I put in there, and that's the one you're getting. If not, you have to power it through a USB-C cable. So keep that in mind. These converters do need power, and these bigger ones come with a power supply because you can't power these that I know of over USB-C. Then this converter's up there as well as a link. And again, I hope tonight, learning a little bit about embedding audio, seeing the frame delay issues live, hearing the difference between audio embedded from the RodeCaster Pro, not using those mic preamps and converters in the ATEM lineup, see if that sounded better. And the jury's still out. I think there was almost as many votes that it didn't sound better than there was that it did sound better. But there were specific votes tonight for the embedded audio sounding better, but we all agree that there's frame delay. Now, the last thing, again, Joe, thank you so much for asking me to do that. I will work out the issues with using the delay in the RodeCaster Pro version 2 to see if I can get that working when I'm not live, because we would have to play with all those settings until the lips are synced up. So I'm completely unhooked now. I can change discs right now. Someone asked me what app I'm using. This is the older version of Filmic Pro. So I'll answer that question right now. So if you get the older legacy version of Filmic Pro, you don't have to pay monthly. It's a one-time fee. They're not doing any updates for it anymore, but it does have a clean HDMI out. The new free camera app from Blackmagic Design also is saying that they have a clean HDMI out. I can't get it to work in my studio, but I do have the app, and I do go into the settings menu and change it to clean HDMI out. So for some reason, I can't get it. Before they came out with it, I couldn't show the information on the screen. And then when they added that feature, now I can show information on the screen, but I can't show a clean HDMI out. So it might be something going on with the cabling or using this Apple adapter, which this is actually the Apple adapter. It's not a generic version. So it's HDMI to Lightning. So that's what I use. So I'm actually going in to a channel on my ATEM, and I'm tethering my phone so I can show you these things live in my studio. So again, there's the RodeCaster Pro version 2. There is my HyperDeck new version, HD Plus. There's my HyperDeck Mini. I'll push this disc back in, and it will bring up my regular videos. Hit play. And so now when I roll my outro, it's going to work tonight when we're all done. So let me get back to the chat. and see what I've missed. Thank you guys so much for your patience tonight. I've been doing a lot of working in here. So let's get back chat on the air. Okay. I apologize if you guys had some time tonight without audio and the lips being off. But again, we are demoing embedded audio versus audio directly to the ATEM mic input number 1. So I will take the thumbs up. Sound is back. That's good. You have to play with it because your ATEM is adding frames on your main feed. And I'm sure that's the delay built into the RodeCaster Pro version 2 you're talking about there. Good old Beta 58, SM7B with more plosives. Okay. Thank you so much, Tony, for that super chat. Sorry I missed it. I've been busy, so thank you so much for supporting the channel. You said for attempting the RCP2 delay. Yeah, well, I would have gotten some pushback or some flack from Joe if I hadn't tried it. And thank you, Joe, as well. Your accidental comedy is appreciated. Yeah, well, it was definitely accidental tonight. Thank you for your super chat as well. That goes to support the channel. And so if that's enabled in your area, thank you so much for using it. I know that Freddie has said in the past it's not available for him in Venezuela. So I don't know if it's available as well in Australia. I'm not insinuating to do a super chat, but I would love to know if that feature is available at the bottom of your chat. I like the sound when you use the SM7B. Yeah, it's by far, in my opinion, one of the best live streaming microphones, podcasting microphone. It's dynamic. It doesn't pick up a lot of room noise. And if it's positioned right, just kind of off axis, never aim a microphone right at your mouth if you can help it. I'm always trying to talk over the microphone so I get less plosives. But if I get it right in my face, you will hear more plosives, which are the P's and the S's. And so you don't want to be talking directly into it. So again, thank you for that super chat, Tony, and for that super chat, Joe. I like the live console sound better than the RCP2. Yeah, my new studio, I will be using the Studio Live for all of my audio in my new Studio B, and possibly using it for this studio as well. Because again, I can use a 8 input, 8 output stage box and then plug that into my my network, which I'm going to be running separate cables from this studio into the new studio so that I could then use the network built into the Studio Live consoles to use stage boxes. So that means that I could have a Studio B live and Studio A live at the same time using the RodeCaster Pro only for podcasting in there, but all my lives would be using the Studio Live 32 console, and that's kind of the long-term plan. The sound is great, but do you always want to build the setup? I think the way it always has been very good, don't change any current system. Yeah, I would agree. I don't plan on changing this. I was just testing it. I do want to be able to do a video on embedding audio. I probably will eventually buy that roll-in device unless I can find a better one. So if you find a better embedding device that has frame delay available, because I need something when I do installs for clients. And that's one of the things I do. And I'll take a moment to give you guys a quick commercial. I do a free 1-hour consult. I've had 2 new individuals approach me in the last 4 days. So on Friday, I'm probably going to be doing 2 1-hour consults free. And then I share what it is like monthly. If you would like to subscribe to some consulting, some live streaming support, as well as audio, video support. That's something I do as a business here at Life Journey Production Studios when I'm not out doing some video production or doing installs for live stream or doing training or I even do some graphics for some clients. So you can get a free hour with me. That gives me a chance to see if I can help you in an hour, or if we need to continue on and find a program that works for you. The MS-DOS was easier to navigate than Blackmagic Design's website. Yeah, that's funny. That's true. Their site needs help. Have you heard of Data Video? They have an audio embedder, DAC 91 audio embedder. No, I haven't, Tony, but that's exactly what I was asking for. Let me go in my Word document right now and copy that in. So I will add that into the chat tonight, or the documents as well. So this is Data Video, and they make a DAC-91 audio embedder. Now, I'm assuming that that has frame delay as well, but let me know if that's true. Good to have you, Tim. Sorry I didn't see you earlier. So looks like you are in agreement with Joe. Awesome to have you here in the live. So let's talk real quickly about what's coming up. Again, next week, we're going to do a studio of the, or a tour of the house decorations. I don't know if I'll do that live, trying to use my Apple TV. I probably will pre-record that and then cut to that and then do voiceover as I tour through the house. We're going to show you the entrance outside, coming into our house, my wife's display. You turn left and go up to her office because she is a midwife and she runs her business out of my house, mainly seeing clients. All the births are done in homes. She's a home birth midwife, unless she has to transport a client, and then she is a home/hospital midwife, because she does go in to be with her clients if they do have to be transported. But we'll show you the entrance that they see every day. We'll show you our living room, and then I plan on doing one of my streams before the holidays from the living room in front of the fireplace. That should be a lot of fun. I hope you guys will join me for that. So we're also going to look at some other sales as they come up. I'm going to show you a couple new things that I discovered about the Studio Live console. We're going to talk a little bit about how that can be used as a interface to control Studio One software. I'm still using version 4. They have version 6.5 out. I have not updated because I think as soon as I buy the full version 6.5, they will probably come out in springtime with version 7. So I'm holding out for that. We're also going to look at how you can route it. One of the things about these consoles, these digital consoles, is that you have complete control over routing. And so you can set up memory so that when you open up Studio Live to do a recording, if you're only going to do a podcast, you can have a preset for that. If you're going to have a full band, you can have a preset for that. If you're going to have monitors and a digital snake, and you're going to take that console someplace else and you want to record to Studio Live while you're there, you can do that as well, and you can set up presets. So we're going to look at the routing presets. We're also going to look at how you can use it as a control surface to actually use that giant console, all of the faders, all the knobs, and how you can use that to operate things inside Studio One if for some reason you wanted to use it as a control surface. Now, you may not know this, but you have the ability to use a RodeCaster Pro version 1 and a RodeCaster Pro version 2 as an audio interface as well. So there is some MIDI capabilities. I don't really play with that. But again, I probably won't ever use my Studio Live console as a controller because it just it's no longer a digital recording device. It just becomes a MIDI controller. So you're losing all the audio technology in it, and you're only using it for knobs and faders and all that stuff. But it is nice to have the transport controls right on the front of the device. So we'll be looking at that. We're also going to do a couple Christmas special things between now and Christmas. So I hope you guys will have a good time joining me for that. Do you have a clippy in Word? I'm not sure what that means. You mean like copy and paste in Word? Thanks for coming, Tim. Hope that you'll catch us again next time. I would be interested in a show where you're programming the macros for the breast via the Stream Deck. Okay. So recording macros. Yeah, so let me just say this about the Stream Deck. If you're going to use macros for an ATEM, you would record your macros inside the macro software. Let's just bring that up. We'll go full screen. So here's the macros right here. You can see how many macros I have programmed. If I go over here, I could create a new macro right now. I could create it. I could call this test live, hit record. And now every step that I take inside my recorder will be recorded. I have to tell the macro every single step. So I could raise and lower volume. I could change camera angles. I could change the size of a picture-in-picture. I could create a frame delay right up here by hitting add a pause. And so once I'm done recording that macro, I hit stop record. Then I would go over to the run menu and hit test and play it. I didn't record anything specific. Go to run, hit test, hit play. I can loop it so I can have it play over and over again. But that is for controlling an ATEM. If you want to control your lights, if you want to record, control other devices in your studio, you want to use Companion. And so we will talk a little bit about how to use Companion to even send signals to launch a macro. You could do it either way. You can record everything you want your ATEM, your HyperDeck to do from Companion, as well as have the lights change in your studio if they're all network like my Elgato lights are. So you can do all that by using Companion as long as you have each of those devices brought into Companion. But if you just want to control an ATEM or you want to control a HyperDeck, you can do that with macros right here inside the software. And so all my automation for my live streams are done with these macros. And if I want to change my lights are always changed. Where's my 3-box here? My lights are always changed using my Stream Deck. So there are my lights. So I can change from this view or this light setup. So this is for camera 1 and this is for camera 2. So if I want to turn around and use this camera over here, I hit this button right there. And then I switch to camera 1. And I have lights set up for this angle. And then if I hit this button again, right here, now I'm back to lights for this angle. So again, I love Stream Decks. I have this Stream Deck right here. 2-box, I want a 3-box. What are you doing, Keith? I have this Stream Deck right here, the XL. You can see how many keys I have. And then I have the Plus right here, and it has a touch screen, and that is the plugin that runs Adobe Premiere. And I have many pages. I have edit buttons. I have trim buttons. You can see the wheel changes. Once you go into the markers, you have all kinds. This is a touch screen. I also have knob control for jogging. And if I tap it, I can go to scroll. If I tap it again, I can go to shuttle. And this setup is made by a company called Sideshow Effects. And they have plugins for Final Cut. They have plugins for DaVinci Resolve. They have plugins for Photoshop. All kinds of things are available. They even have new plugins for Studio One, the software I use. So I love this shuttle because you have touchscreen as well as knobs and buttons. and pages, and where this will only do buttons. But I do have an up and down button set up to run my prompter by Elgato, and my prompter is right over there. So I could drag chat over there if I wanted to when I'm facing that direction. I have no camera over there right now. I'm just using it as a monitor. I could also switch it over to teleprompter mode with a push of the button. But it's not working right now for whatever reason. It's only working as a monitor, and I have no clue why. Oh, yes, I do. I plugged it into my PC tonight, and I don't have the Stream Decks plugged into my PC. They're plugged into my laptop. So if I want to control it from my Stream Deck, I have to plug the prompter into this laptop instead of this PC, because I run 2 computers for my lives. So, okay. We're going to wrap this up. We are getting close to time. I agree, a macro stream would be fun, especially in conjunction with Companion. Okay, that's 2 votes. I have to go, Keith. Good night, Freddie. Thanks for being here. Have a great week. Let's see. Turn chat on the air. So good night, Freddie. Joe says, I agree on the idea of a stream using Companion and creating macros. So we will put that on the agenda. Yeah, I do have the Stream Deck foot pedal right here. So there is my Stream Deck foot pedal right there on the floor, and it's set up right now. Let's open the software here real quick. So I go up to pedal. Let's go ahead and go to this screen. So I have it set up to do lights right here. So if I push this side of the pedal, there's 3 spots. You can push the middle, you can push the left, push the right. And so I can run lights. And that was to switch from one set to the other set. I was just playing with it, but I could use this for my prompter as well. So yeah, I do have the pedal to answer that question, Tony. And again, it only has 3 buttons. You can change the springs, so that changes the sensitivity. So it comes with a set of springs and some dampers, and you can actually set up the middle to be a place to rest your foot. So disable the button by putting a little rubber pad in there, and then you'd have a left and right button and no middle button. So pretty cool device. That would be a good way to ensure audio is on. He has to keep his foot on the pedal. So funny. I missed the Skycam days. Yeah. Well, I do have a Skycam. I had a glitch tonight with the software. I don't know exactly what Skycam days you're alluding to, but I do have Skycam available tonight. There is Skycam up there on my head. And so, so I do have Skycam. I'm not sure what of the days you're missing, but okay. Gonna close that. Get ready to say good night. Let's see if there's any other chats before I bail. See if I missed anything up here. Audio without video is radio. Oh, what happened here? Chat off the air. Let's do this. Turn Skycam off. Chat on the air. This is funny. There we go. Audio Or audio without video is radio. Video without audio is nothing. Not sure what that meant. DJ Ware, that's why you don't do live? Yeah. All those audio glitches tonight. Yeah, I've never had the control software for my ATEM once I turn a microphone channel on. I've never had it switch. I did not have it set to audio follow video. I had simply channel 8 set to on. And it seemed like every time I changed a button, now maybe my macros were doing that. If I was pressing macro buttons, it may be changing the audio back to a default. Earlier in my life, I was programming macros and changing the audio settings, so it was probably my fault. One thing about macros is that when you create a macro, don't touch any buttons that you don't need to touch. So for instance, don't change any audio settings in a macro because your audio probably is going to be just fine when you go to hit a macro. So that's the mistake I was making in my earlier days of making macros, is I was adding things I should not add to, because I wanted to make sure that a mic wasn't muted by accident. But what I just did by pushing those macros, and I'll probably re-record them this week, was I was turning channel 8 audio off and turning channel mic 1 audio back on. And I'm sure that's what was happening. Tough crowd as usual. Oops. I would watch Keith's channel in Mime if he used Ratso. Yeah, Ratso is coming. I've been under the weather, guys. Literally, the last 6 or 7 weeks, Shannon and I both got sick. It had some weird side effects. Creativity level way low. Energy level way low. And I have to be creative level high to be able to do ventriloquism, because I'm playing the role of both characters. I just was not in a space at all to do that, though I did some pretty complicated live streams, but I did not have Ratso for my 2,000 subscriber. Thank you. So I apologize. Ratso will be making an appearance in December, probably more than one. And I think Grandpa Jones is going to show up as well. He has a favorite Christmas song that he would like to sing. So I will apologize for that earlier, but he will give it his all when he does sing. So I've often told him to never quit his day job when he sings, but it's an experience you all need to have. Doug, another vote for companion. Cool. I meant the possibility of controlling the macros of the ATEM with the Stream Deck. Controlling the macros of the ATEM with the Stream Deck. I couldn't manage it with companion. Yeah, you can. So I've done it before, so we will do that in a live stream coming up. Skycam head. Yeah, I meant one that you had way up in the corner. Yeah, I'm going to put a Skycam up there as well, and we'll call it the Christmas cam next week. So I have a long enough USB cable to run my Skycam all the way up there, so we will do that so you guys can enjoy that. Was audio follow video on? No. I really do think, Joe, to wrap tonight up, and I think that catches me up. Now that I'm thinking about it, my brain is working better these days. I am almost positive that I had macros created with audio changes. So turning my main mic on to make sure it was on. And that happened when I was doing a video where I was doing some really complicated animations, one HyperDeck, then a stinger, cutting to another HyperDeck, and that's video to video to video. And they have to be able to overlap, because remember, a stinger is a transition between one video to another video. That means I had to have 3 HyperDecks going at the same time. And I think I was messing with the audio settings when I was doing that. So I created a macro. I think my laptop, me and my laptop, or me and my logo, has a audio transition in it. And I think that's what was happening. So I apologize for that. Ratso should read us his list to Santa. I can tell you this. Ratso asks for some pretty weird things for Christmas. So you may or may not want to hear that list. No, it's not just cheese. He asks for cheese all the time. In fact, if you're not careful, Ratso will eat all the cheese from our house and Shannon's parents' house and cheese from the neighbors if he can get away with it. So it's not cheese on his Christmas list. But then right when I say he won't put cheese on there, he'll probably ask you guys for cheese. So, okay. Thank you so much. It was fun to be together with you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I hope you enjoyed embedding audio with the HDMI to 6G SDI converter. And again, if you want to come out of your camera 4K into a HyperDeck and you need to convert it, you'll need one of these. The cool thing is the new HyperDecks have HDMI input, and they'll take up to 30 frames 4K, which solves this whole problem, saves $155. So think about that. If you bought the old Mini and you wanted to do that, you have to have one of these at $155. Now you don't even have to have one of these. So is it worth it to invest in the new HyperDeck Studio Mini 8 Plus or HD Plus? Yes, but do not buy the HD version only without the Plus version, because you lose a lot of features. You lose the little built-in microphone. You lose the remote switch on the front. You lose the extra settings. You lose the headphone input. So you can literally plug headphones into a HyperDeck now and verify your audio levels are good. So lots of cool things in that HyperDeck. It's bigger, it's badder, and you don't have to have a HDMI 4K to 6G converter because it has an HDI 4K 30 frames per second input. And that means that you could record directly from a camera that will export 4K through HDMI. You can record it directly to a HyperDeck, and you can't do that in an ATEM ISO because it only records at 422 HDMI and not 422 4K 30 frames per second. So keep that in mind if you're shopping for a HyperDeck. The shuttle only does HD, and it does not have a key channel, but it does have teleprompter built into it. So that's really cool. So if you just want to be able to put your teleprompting on your confidence monitor, get a HyperDeck shuttle, and then just have that output going to your confidence monitor. And that's a great tool. Or get a prompter by Elgato, and then you have the ability to put prompter on the screen or your camera on the screen through OBS, or have your monitor and drag and drop Zoom or anything else on the screen. So with that, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. Thank you so much for this audio embedding live stream, and I hope you learned something tonight. Thank you, Tony, for that hint on a embedder. I will check that out tonight before I hit the sack. But until then, I will see you guys in the Life Journey Productions Christmas studio in a live stream next Tuesday. So until then, be safe, take care of yourself. And if you haven't watched it, go over and check out my condensed prompter video behind the scenes getting started right here on the channel. And I will be recording this week for sure my new Extreme ISO getting started video. So that's going to take a while to edit, but that will be up on my channel very soon. So if you're thinking about getting an Extreme or Extreme ISO, hopefully that video series will help you know how to get started. So that's it for me. I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe. Peace.